virtualization, or containerization. Are they mutually exclusive or interchangeable? Learn the mistakes of these terminologies in this episode of Deconstructing Tech Terms with Hafi. Let's start with virtualization. Virtualization is a process in which a software called hypervisor is added as an extra layer over the hardware components. The hypervisor software enables the hardware components of a single computer system to multiply into several virtual computers. Basically, when the hypervisor is integrated, it facilitates the creation of multiple operating systems that run parallelly while using the same hardware computing resources. It separates the OS and the application of a system from its hardware elements, thereby creating virtual machines, popularly known as VMs. There are two types of hypervisors, Type 1 and Type 2. The Type 1 hypervisors run on the host machine's hardware without affecting the dedicated operating system. The Type 1 hypervisors are widely known for its scalability and superior performance because of its capability to leverage the hardware components without disrupting the performance of the OS. The Type 2 hypervisors are built on top of the operating systems and are called the hosted hypervisor. The hypervisor runs as an application within the computer's operating system and is barred from using the resources of the hardware. Although multiple operating systems can be created via Type 2 hypervisor, the dependency on the pre-existing OS causes latency issues. Although virtualization technology is decades old, it still occupies a crucial space since it's the foundational framework for today's cloud computing technologies. Now let's learn about server virtualization. Just like creating multiple operating systems using virtualization software, server virtualization is the process of dividing a physical server into multiple isolated virtual servers with the help of a dedicated software. There are three kinds of server virtualization: full virtualization, para-virtualization, and OS level virtualization. Let's see in detail about these three types of virtualization. Full virtualization. In full virtualization, hypervisor software is directly integrated with the physical server's disk space. The hypervisor leverages the resources of the physical server while creating and managing multiple virtual servers. The virtual servers operate independently without interfering or interrupting other servers. On the flip side, since full virtualization depends completely on the physical server's resources, the performance and the agility of the servers are often affected. Para-virtualization. In contrast with the full virtualization servers, the para-virtualization servers work together as a single unit. Since every OS in the virtual servers recognizes the other servers, the processing power of the hypervisor is greatly reduced, which increases the performance and the speed of the servers. OS level virtualization. In OS level virtualization, the use of hypervisors is eliminated. In this type, the virtualization capability of the physical server OS is used to perform all the tasks of a server. However, all the virtual servers must run based on the same operating system in this method. Now, let's move on to containerization. Containerization is the process of packaging codes with just the OS libraries and crucial dependencies to run the code to create a single container that operates seamlessly in any kind of operating system. Containers are portable, lightweight, and highly efficient. One of the biggest benefits of leveraging the containerization process is that it allows developers to create and deploy applications swiftly and securely. Containerization eliminates the problem of system non-compatibility. When codes are developed in a unique environment, it often becomes incompatible and slow in other operating systems. The process involves bundling the application codes along with the configuration files, libraries, and dependencies. The packaged containers are independent of the operating systems, and their portability ensures that it can be run in any kind of platform without a hitch. Let's circle back to our initial question: virtualization or containerization? Here's a quick process deconstruction for your understanding. Similar to virtualization, the process of containerization has been around for quite some time. Docker is the most popular containerization software that enables users to create lightweight and robust applications that reduce the consumption of resources significantly. Here's an example. I've created a Node.js based application. Now let's explore the capabilities of virtual machines and containers in accommodating this application. The virtual machine comprises of a hardware, host operating system, and a hypervisor, and these elements occupy a few resources. To push in my Node.js application, we must first have an OS built on top of the hypervisor. My application will run with the assistance of the guest operating systems. This would further consume a considerable amount of resources. If I were to push my application to a different operating system, I need to create a dedicated OS to run my application again, which would further consume more resources. If you see here, I've maxed out my resource capacity, which would directly affect the performance of my application. It also creates an array of issues which would impede the DevOps procedures. Here's where the containers come in handy. The containerization process begins with creating a manifest that describes the container. Since I'm leveraging the Docker platform, the first step here is that I create a Docker file. Then I create the application image. Then I create the container file that encompasses the codes, binaries, dependencies, and libraries required to run the application. The system setup is similar to a VM, except instead of a hypervisor, we have a Docker engine here. The existing setup consumes some resources. The best thing about containers is that we needn't have to create guest operating systems to run my application. We can directly push the container which contains the libraries, binaries, and dependencies to run the application seamlessly. The container consumes a certain amount of resources, leaving behind empty space that increases the performance of the system. Even if I were to scale the containers twice, the resource consumption will be very minimal as compared to a VM. This allows the system to run without a hitch and provides the opportunity to incorporate varied containers. So, which is better? Let's quickly look into the benefits of virtualization and containerization. The benefits of virtualization includes reduced operating costs, reduced downtime and enhanced resiliency, improved productivity and efficiency, independency in DevOps. Reduced operating costs. Virtualization helps in the creation of multiple virtual machines with one computing system. The operating costs of running several programs are reduced significantly. Reduced downtime and enhanced resiliency. Disaster recovery is one of the most important risk management elements. With virtualization, it is easy to replicate the functioning of a virtual machine, thereby reducing the downtime and enhancing resiliency in the event of a disaster. Improved productivity and efficiency. Virtualizing the servers enables the IT team to focus on the hardware server requirements, which enhances the productivity and efficiency of the team. Independency in DevOps. Developers can easily clone a virtual machine, thereby testing the capabilities of an application without hindering the production process. The benefits of containerization includes portability, security, flexibility, efficiency, and management. Portability. Containers bundle up all dependencies in a package that can be run without a hitch anywhere. Containers are portable and are easy to integrate and can be run on any platform. Security. Since containers are designed to run in their own isolated environments, the security risks are reduced drastically. Even if the security of a container is compromised, the other containers are guaranteed to function without any impact. Flexibility. Containers have enabled developers to be versatile and innovative with their applications. Containers are easy to deploy and are flexible enough to switch their environment if the need arises. Efficiency. Containerization is the most efficient method of leveraging virtualization. Developers can build multiple containers and consume resources effectively. Management. With Kubernetes, containers can be managed efficiently. From upgrades, health checkups, and platform monitoring, Kubernetes allows the users to manage containers meticulously. The final verdict. Virtualization and containerization are usually used interchangeably because of their similar computing efficiencies. However, the container technology exceeds phenomenally capability-wise. IT giants are preferring containers over virtual machines because of their utility and efficiency. The constant evolution of technology, it has become imperative to leverage the best technologies that expedite processes and improve efficiency. Since the containerization process simplifies the deployment and management of applications, industry experts prefer containers over virtual machines. In an IT landscape, containers are better suited for the creation of lightweight container packages which run simultaneously without affecting the agility of the operating system. Docker, the most popular containerization engine, accommodates multiple architectures, languages, and frameworks, thereby creating a lush environment for the developers to innovate and accelerate. I hope this tech talk rendered an overview regarding these advanced technologies. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye.